Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. And in the last episode we smoothed off our front bumper here. Now in between episodes I just gave a few little tweaks and just tidy up a little bit of the geometry just to make sure that we had time to move on. And in this episode what we'll do, I think, is I kind of want to have a look at filling in the windscreen here. Now we'll start to smooth the elements, and I think what we'll do is we'll put the windscreen in and then that will allow us then to keep on going smoothing through. Now there's also one thing I want to add in this episode here, and inside in my references we have some additional geometry inside here, so we'll add that first. And what we'll do is I think we will use a basic tube here, and we'll get this rotated around here, and then we'll get this sat nicely holding X exactly in the center there. Now I think what we'll want to do with this is we're going to want to take our thickness down. We'll maybe go to 0.3, and what we'll also do is we're going to take the amount of subdivisions down, and what we'll maybe do is, let's have a look at 6, maybe 8, okay, we'll maybe go for 10. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, what I think we'll do with this is, let's grab all of the edges by double clicking here. I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, delete Edge and Vertices, and we'll do the same down here as well. So we're just aiming to kind of get that basic shape. Now, hopefully this shouldn't take us too long to put together. Let's go to our side view here. Get this into position, get this scaled down as well. So this here is going to kind of be this extra kind of ridged area which is sitting on top here. So let's just get this sitting as it should. Now it looks like we'll maybe want to increase the thickness here, and then we can just pull these points here to something like this and this. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just scale this down a little bit here. I'll just make it a little bit thicker. Okay, so it looks like we want to be something like this. Okay. Now on my references it looks like all of this is more like that there, and then we're going to insert an edge loop which is kind of matching the circumference. So what we'll do is, if we grab all the edges here, it actually looks like this section here kind of scales in. So if we grab this, and I'm going to want to reflect the same on this side as well. See through, that should be fine. So we'll grab these ones here and we'll just scale those out, like so. And we'll grab these ones and we'll scale these and these, scale these in. So it's kind of something that looks like that. And then what we'll do with this is we'll add some edge loops. And we'll add all of these in here to support the edges all the way around. Put these on all the points. Okay, we can hit 3 on that and we can see that that's going to smooth around quite nicely there. And if I open up Hypershade here, which is going to pop up in my second monitor, what we'll do is, in my references, this section here is red, so we can assign a nice red material to that. So that there's looking pretty good. So, now what we'll do is we'll have a look at the windscreen. So let's have a look here. Our top view. So it looks like what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create some kind of, it looks like a seal the whole way around, and then the glass will sit on top of that. So what we'll do is we'll maybe treat the top and bottom separately. So we'll grab all of these points here, all around this roof, and we'll hit Ctrl E. And what we'll do, let's see. Yeah, so we'll go Ctrl E, and what we'll do, actually, no. Let's deselect all of these points, and what we'll do is we'll make the main window first, because it does look like there's some differentiation between that. So we'll hit E on this, and I'm just going to pull this down. It looks like this is going to want to be a little bit lower, like so. We'll maybe just fine tune this section here. Just to make sure it's sitting how it should. Okay, so I'll pull all these up. Might as well do all of them whilst we're here. Okay, so this looks okay. And what we want to do is we want all of these points here to kind of match this ridged section here. I think we're going to want to pull a lot of these out, like so. And then in our top view it's going to allow us to position these a little bit better. So we can see here, if we can select the roof again. So we're going to see here that we've got this kind of inner ridge, and it's the inner ridge here that we want to be working towards. Again, just make sure that the roof section here is sitting as it should. We can pull all these into position. Okay. And we can actually see that this one here actually goes something like that. So we'll pull all these out as well. Looks like we maybe need to go back in a little bit here. And then it looks like this is actually going to want to extrude down here. I actually want that to go something like this. And then obviously we'll want to pull this down here, like so. Check the front view there, see how that's sitting. So that's sitting okay. It's looking okay just now. So I think what we'll want to do now is we're going to want to pull these down again in a similar fashion to what we've just done. So we're going to hit Ctrl E, and we're going to bring this out here, and then in our side view we can bring this down to sit where it should. And again we can refine these points here. Looks okay. And then we'll want this one to be something like that, so we'll pull this one a bit further out there, and then we'll just make sure that these are in the correct position here as well. And we'll want to make sure that we're not having these straight. We want to help these kind of maintain the corners, so we can pull these out a bit more in this direction here and around here, just to try and help us bring and create that corner there. So we can bring all these around here. We can do the same there. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, and we'll also want now to bring this edge down here as well. What we'll do with this is we will hold V, which is going to allow us to bring this down, and we can merge the two together. And then we're going to hold V again just to bring this down to roughly the same location, and then we can get that position there as well. Okay, so far so good. So what we'll do here now is we will have a look at getting all of these items here positioned. Now it looks to me, if I can check my references here, so it looks to me like that section runs down and all the way along. So it looks like this here runs all the way down and around as part of this section here. So what we'll do is we'll aim to create that. Now it's also actually separate to this part here. So the section that the door connects to here is actually separate to what we have. Now this bit here is above the window, this section here, and then this section is what the actual windscreen sits on top of. So we need to be mindful of that as we go. So we want to make sure that these are in position here, and again it actually looks like it goes down and behind. So it actually looks like it goes down here and here. And then what we'll do is we'll just bring these a little bit further forward here. So that's kind of an easy little cop out for us there, because it means that we don't have to try and get those positioned too intricately. And then we can do the same with this. We can bring this down and we can drop that down there. So what we'll do is we'll work to just ever so slightly underneath here, like so. So I think what we'll want to do first before we do anything else is we're going to insert a few edge loops. And what we'll want to do is actually what we'll do is we'll get some edges going across here. So we'll maybe drop one here, 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 and here. So the reason we drop one here is so that we can help maintain that corner section. And there's an ever so faint line there which we want to help maintain. It looks like here we want to actually come in just a little bit, like so. And here, I think, judging by the references, this wants to be one nice relative section all the way down here, like so. And then we can pull all these parts just to help create the curve. So we'll do something like that. And then we can pull these points out here. So we're going to want to bring it all the way out to this edge, because we're going to want a nice half decent curve to this. And again, we can see that faint line which we want to be working towards here. We're going to be too far there. We can bring this out as well. And here. Okay. And then we can bring these points out as well. So that's looking pretty good. See how we're sitting on the front view. So it looks like we're maybe not sitting exactly the same, so we'll pull that up slightly. Again here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Sitting quite nicely there. And what we'll do is with this edge here, we're going to extrude this. We're going to bring this all the way down and around here. So this is eventually going to come into this center section here. And then we'll be down here. And again, into that center. So we'll want to bring a few edge loops in here now, just to kind of help maintain this curve. We'll just keep bringing it to the center point so we can bring it around roughly for each bit here, like that. Before we go too far, we're going to want to make sure that we're going down low enough before we start adding too much information. So we're going to want to work just underneath the geometry we have. Now we've got to be careful because our geometry does get a little bit lower and lower as we go around, so maybe the front view here would be the best angle to use. So I would say something like this. So it looks like we've got a little larger, well, an upward section there, so I'll bring that down here. And again, looks like we're going to want to be a whole lot lower there. So we just want to make sure that we're down lower than the actual body section there. And what we'll do is we'll maybe add a couple more inside here. So let's say maybe 2 inside here. And here. Because this is going to be what is defining our kind of descent or curve here. So we'll go something like that, which looks pretty good. Okay. And again in here, I think we'll go 2 again. So we'll drop 1 in just here. And here. Okay. Again, we'll go maybe 2. Or maybe we'll just go 1 there, and then we'll go 1 again just here. And that looks pretty good. We just want to make sure we kind of maintain a nice smooth line going down and around there, which looks like we are. So that looks pretty good. So when we bring this top end of the bonnet down, we'll do that in the next episode. That'll cover the discrepancy in between there, so that's looking pretty good. And it means also that when we actually put in some edge loops, it's going to follow around that curve there quite nice. So that looks pretty good. So what we'll do is we can think about now bringing the glass down. So we'll check, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So even though we just added all of these, what we'll actually want to do is probably want to delete a few. So let's just go for that one, and then we'll try and bring this one around a little bit more, and this one around here. And we could maybe go for this one there. Make sure I get rid of those vertices, and can maybe bring this one around a little bit more, and this one up. Just get a bit more space in between these. Now the reason we just want to make sure this matches because it's going to make our life a whole lot easier. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's fine. Before we do anything, we'll just make sure that we've still got that nice curve all the way around there, which we do, so that's good. So now for this windscreen, we're going to want to grab on these edges here. And what I'm going to say is we're going to want to hit Ctrl E, and we're just going to extrude that out just like so. And then we will simply grab all of the faces associated with it here, and we will say edit mesh and extract. Okay, so now you'll see after doing that we have lost this side here, but that's not too big of an issue just now. But what we've done is we've extracted these faces from these sections. So what we can do with this is we can select these here, and we can press V to snap these sections all the way around. Now, one thing I'm looking at just now is, again, here, I think what we'll want to do is we'll want to insert an edge loop which goes around something like that. Because on the references, it looks like what we'll want to do is bring the second point here, because it looks like there is a slight overlap with the actual screen itself and this kind of edging that goes around here, the seal. So we'll bring all this around here, like so. Okay. And what we'll also do is we'll maybe just bring this in slightly here, just so it's a little bit thicker but a bit more horizontal, so it's not going to interfere with our windscreen too much. Cool, so now with these edges here we can hold V and we'll snap them to the second point inside here. And then we'll just do this for all of these points here. Okay, so we can see we've got some interference here, so we'll grab all of these. We'll drop them down ever so slightly, just so they're a bit straighter, like so. And now what we'll do is we will insert some more edge loops, which is going to reflect what we have on the side here. And we'll probably want to get a little bit of curve to this. And again, we'll want to add a second edge loop for this portion here. We'll be able to use the side view here to see what kind of curvature we need on this windscreen. So it looks like we'll probably want this to actually align a little bit higher, unless that's actually quite a thick windscreen wiper on here, so maybe it's actually just something like that. And then we'll just want to kind of have that reflected all the way around here, and then holding V we can snap that to that section there and just make sure that we're maintaining a nice curve around here. So it's good. This here is going to actually want to snap inside here, and then we're going to want to snap inside here as well. So the curve to that is actually behind the windscreen rather than in front. And again, what we'll do is we'll just make sure that we're maintaining some decent curvature here. Something like that. So that looks pretty good. So it looks like these points here are all going to want to go in ever so slightly. So all of these here we will push in. And we'll maybe do the same for each of these. Oh, what we actually could do, rather than bringing those down, is we could actually insert another edge loop just up here. Just going to help curve up here, and it's going to merge over here. So what I think we'll actually want to do for this, just to make sure that we're sitting nicely, is we will insert an edge loop like so. And what this will allow us to do is, if we select all of these top sections here, is we can just drop that down inside the actual windscreen itself, and we'll do the same for these points here. Because these are going to be seen once we have our glass inside, we'll see all of these elements inside here. And then again, take the extra newly created vertices and we'll just pull that in slightly, just so there's a little bit of this indentation there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And what we'll want to do here is we will want to again add a slightly transparent material this time. So what we can do is create a new plane, and we're going to darken this down here and then just crank the transparency down a little bit there, and we can apply that over here. See, we've got a little bit of glass in there now, so that's looking pretty good. And then what we're going to want to do is the exact same there to the side, but I don't think we'll quite have time in this episode to do that. So in the next episode what we'll do is we'll create this glass here, and then we'll continue with the rest of the smooth. Okay guys, cool.